everyone, my name is Haley Grader, and today I'll be explaining an assignment I have created that is integrated with technology for my second grade classroom. For this assignment, I have chosen a TEKS that focuses on multi-genres, such as listening, speaking, reading, writing, and thinking using literary elements. Specifically, I've chosen to focus on my students' understanding of plot elements. For my lesson plan, I've decided to title it Finding Plot Elements. My lesson will focus on my students' understanding on how to find and recognize different elements used in stories, such as main events, plots, conflicts, and resolutions. The technology application I have chosen to use for my lesson is Kahoot, and Kahoot is a game-based learning platform. The lesson I've created consists of me reading a story to my class, and then breaking them off into groups to find the plot elements of the story. They will then compete against each other on Kahoot for a prize. I will then read them another story, however the students will be expected to find the elements on their own and compete against the rest of the class. The lesson plan I've created is an example of a formative assessment because I will communicate with my students and the students will communicate amongst themselves in order to answer the question. Based on how Kahoot is set up, me and my students will be able to reflect on how the learning in the classroom is going and what areas I need to focus more on when going over the topic in the future. In order for my lesson to be successful among all of my students, I provided how I will ensure my students' success based on the type of student. For example, if the student is gifted, the student will be chosen as the group leader. They will help lead the discussion and offer help to students who may need it. If the student is an English learner, they will be placed into a group with both English and Spanish learners, and I will offer assistance if needed. And if the student has special needs, they will also be placed into a group with other students, and I will closely monitor the student and offer help when needed. As a teacher, I will offer the best explanation I can for all of my students and strive for the entire class to get the best understanding possible. In the next few slides, I will explain how each of the 7 standards for educators will be used in my lesson. For learner, I have improved my practices by using technology in my lessons to increase learning in the classroom. My students will benefit from the new learning opportunities used through technology, and by using Kahoot, it offers the students a new, fun, and creative way to learn the plot elements. For leader, I have embraced the new digital resources offered to me so that my students will be more engaged in classroom learning. By using technology in the classroom, students are more likely to be more engaged with the content being presented to them. For citizen, by using technology in a fun way, I'll be promoting positive online behavior with others, which will teach my students how to better communicate with others. By demonstrating how technology can be used with others in a fun, positive way, the students can learn how to communicate better not only online, but also in person. For collaborator, in order to ensure classroom success, I will work with other second grade teachers to come up with ways technology can be used in the classroom. And my students will benefit from both different teaching styles and new ways of learning with technology. Asking other teachers for help or to review a lesson you want to teach could offer more success for students. And for this lesson especially, teachers could decide to have a competition between classes. For designer, as a teacher, my goal is to create fun activities that maximize active learning so that my students are more successful. By integrating technology, it offers a new and better way of learning for my students. For facilitator, for my classroom, I want my students to be in an environment where they feel they can excel both independently and in group settings. By doing lessons such as this one, the students are able to feel more confident and take ownership in their learning goals and outcomes. And finally, for analyst, I will provide ways for my students to reflect on their learning so that my students can benefit from knowing what they need to work on more. Kahoot is a great technology to use for analysts because it offers immediate response. The game will tell you what you got wrong and right, allowing the students to recognize what he or she needs help understanding more. Under SAMR, the lesson I've created would best be considered as augmentation, because the technology I've chosen acts as a direct substitute but also allows for functional improvement. Under Webb's depth of knowledge, my lesson would be considered to be placed on level 2, knowledge application, because the student must have pre-existing knowledge of plot elements before being able to play the game. And under Bloom's taxonomy, the lesson would be considered as apply, because as mentioned, the student must have pre-knowledge of the plot elements before participating in the game. If I were unable to use Kahoot, I would simply replace the technology with whiteboards. The students would write their answers on a whiteboard and hold up their answer. The first correct answer would win. Although the students would have a harder time recognizing what areas they need help in, therefore I would offer a one-on-one with the students to discuss what they think they are struggling in the most. Overall, the lesson I've created for my second graders covers all areas needed in order to ensure their success when understanding plot elements. And here's my works cited. Thank you.